name's Matt Avance. I own Tennessee Valley Muzzleloading. We build basically custom muzzleloading rifles. They're all based on historical, original guns. Most of these guns are made out of what we refer to as curly maple, sugar maple. It's a type of maple that really doesn't grow here in the deep south where we're at. Most of this wood comes from Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York, places like that. I have some patterns, profile patterns that we'll lay out on it, cut it out with my bandsaw, and we literally just start taking everything off of that big piece of wood that's not a gun stock. Then there's a couple of steps after that to get the barrel in. Then I'll do some more drawing on it, cut away, and then just repeat that process until I get it to a point where it's ready to accept all the other parts that go with it. You want to maximize the curl that's going to be seen in the finished product. You do want to look and make sure that grain is not going to run out of the wrist and make it a weak place in the stock, because whenever you get it finished, it's going to be much smaller than it is in that big piece of wood. Sometimes you have to work around imperfections in the wood, maybe where a bug got in it. We basically do 12 what we refer to as long guns, rifles and smoothbores. There are literally hundreds of different what they call schools of muzzleloaders. This rifle here we built for my wife, and there's a couple of things about it that I remember particularly. One of them is this gold band that's right here in the top of the barrel. That was my wedding band. I had an accident building this gun and cut this hand pretty bad, and they had to cut my ring off of me. And so it was one of those things that scary moment, scary day, doing something for your wife, and after it's all done and over with and everything's going to work out and be fine, it's just a reminder, not that we did this just for her. That was the biggest reason, but don't do what you did that day. Every time I look at this gun. The guns particularly, back in that day, they were a tool, as much as they might have been a piece of art. It was something that everyone had and had to have, and particularly if you were a frontiersman, what they called a long hunter, went on the long walks. You were out hunting, foraging for food to feed your family, and you had to have one of these things for literal self-protection. One of the things that I've kind of prided myself on in doing this is I've always been able to take that piece of wood and see what it was going to look like in my mind's eye when I got done with it. Have an idea of where I'm going to end up. And whenever we get through with a piece and it's totally finished and we pass it on to a customer, nothing like seeing the big smile, even seeing people cry before. It's really pleasurable. I'm not ready to retire by any stretch of the imagination. Days are longer than they were at almost 60 than they were at 40. My hands are not as steady as they were 20 years ago. Some things it takes me a little longer to do than it used to. I really don't see me not doing this anywhere in the really near future. But I do see me stepping back a little bit and letting someone else take the lead, so to speak. I'm nowhere near ready to retire, but I would like to fish more than I do.